Start. All right, guys, we're here with Juan. Juan is what's your podcast called again? Sorry,
It
guys.
is. No, you're good. I mean, I just changed it to be fair, so it's like completely understandable. I literally just changed this a day ago.
Yeah,
But we are now Sick Parvis Magna Gaming and Podcast.
nice, nice, nice. Yeah, normally I get to listen to like everyone's podcast before I have them on.
Hmm.
Like I had just had Adam Morgan from Opinions and Beer on.
Hmm.
Dude, that guy was like, if you took my soul that like I tucked deep down that nobody gets to see and brought it to life, that's what it would be. He was so nuts. He was so crazy. I was like, oh my God, this guy's hilarious.
It's fucking cool.
I was like, no wonder you have a really nice podcast because this guy is just he'll talk your head off about any beer out there, and then he'll basically talk about anything. And he did mine podcast in the middle of the fucking woods in southern Texas.
That's fucking cool. Wait, Southern Texas? Do you
Yeah,
happen to know where he's from?
I don't remember the name off the top of my head,
Fuck, man, I'm
but
curious because I'm
he's
I'm
like
from San Antonio, Texas, which is pretty much southern.
he was
Well,
in yeah
central.
he's like in between I think you and was it Houston, like in between there.
Okay, I see that. Probably like
Yeah,
Austin or some shit.
yeah.
Yeah, dope.
But I was like, because I saw you from the Texas, I was like, oh, how ironic. 2 weeks, two guys from Texas.
I
I was like,
mean,
that's
that's how it
ironic.
is. We drink, so.
Yeah. But anyway, you said you were talking about Final Fantasy. So what do you think of it?
Man, I haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers for anyone just
Yeah,
yet. But
neither have
it,
I.
no, it's good, man. I mean, everything about it, the battle system's pretty much what I wanted from 15,
Hmm.
because I couldn't get into 15 for some reason. The whole like it wasn't it wasn't engaging enough for me. Like I had did a button, and kind of did everything for me, and this one I have to think. The battles are pretty tough. Like I think I there's like a whole stream of mine trying to kill Leviathan,
Yeah.
and that's a summon you get right, and it was just fucking awful. Like my first like 3 attempts were fucking garbage, and I just looked like a fucking noob. And eventually I beat him right, but no, man, it's fun. I mean, the story right now. I remember reading the IGN review, and they were bitching about like the side quest, and they were like, "Oh, you got to go find a cat, and that's what makes this game bad." Like, dude, fuck off. Look at Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah.
all those fucking side quests are fucking garbage. Like, it was
Oh
just like,
yeah.
okay, go get the backpack. Like, oh, there's 18 different backpacks. You know what I mean? Like, that
Yeah.
was bullshit compared to this. But
Oh,
I
100%.
yeah, right. I mean, like, I was very upset with that review once I started playing it because I'm just kind of like, okay, I see their point. Like, if it's that stupid, sure. But like the side quests, I mean, there's just so much development as far as like what you do, and also you get some cool shit for the team. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to do almost everything before I have to do hard mode, and
Hmm.
it's just one of those things where I'm really excited to definitely find out how it ends because I'm like 4 chapters away. I want to say I'm on chapter 14. I'm like 27 hours in,
Yeah.
and just kind of fucking keep grinding. That's just really
Yeah.
what it is for me, and it's fun as shit. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's really the key to this Final Fantasy game. Like I said, like you said, I couldn't get into 15. I just couldn't. Like it just this one just keeps you on your toes so much, and like you said, you have to think. You have to switch characters all the time, like to kill some of the the summons and
Mm-hmm.
um, what was it, the killer house that like
Oh
comes
man,
down on the arena.
fuck that thing, dude. Oh
I know.
man, my friend's actually playing that on the hard mode right now.
Yeah.
And do you remember the Toby? What do they call it? The Toby, that stupid fucking green thing with the chef knife.
Yeah.
So apparently in hard mode, you fight the house and it spawns those fucking things.
Oh shit! No. Oh
Yeah, dude, it's fucking bullshit. Like I was looking, he sent me a screenshot, and I was just like, "What?" I'm like, "That bitch was already hard enough, and like you're telling me I gotta fight these fuckers too." And dude, it was fucking bullshit. Like, especially like when you're with Eris in the beginning. Like, Eris isn't the best character towards the beginning. Like her end game towards like as you get further on, she's fucking stellar. Like
Yeah.
she has a lot of good shit that helps the team. But like in the beginning, when you're in the fucking Coliseum, dude, like she's honestly kind of worthless. So it's just like, dude, fuck that. Like Like I could already see myself dreading the fuck out of that.
Oh yeah, it's like it's literally like I mean like I had Aerith pretty well developed in it because I got lucky and I got a bunch of like staffs. A bunch of her staffs were in like the vending machines.
That's true.
So
Yeah, that's true.
like I got super lucky because my one buddy who he I started out on like easier on the easy level because of the fact that I was like, I'll just walk through it and then I'll go back on the hard level.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, because I was at that point I was streaming. Um, and basically I was just getting all lucky. And there was this one point during one of my streams, it was late at night, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy's like, all right, I'm gonna get off. And I'm like, all right, cool. But I just got this staff. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, why? Is it good? He was like, I literally just got that staff and I'm like 3 chapters ahead of you. I was like, oh shit, I got lucky. And I
Oh,
started to put
fuck
it
that.
on her,
And
put it
you
on
said you were
her.
doing
And it
easy,
was
right?
like, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you get drop more shit on easy, but
Maybe
I
because
don't, because I was like, damn, I felt
which
so
move?
lucky.
Which move was it? Like the skill? Because the one I love is that fucking huge laser beam. I can't remember the fucking name for the life
Yeah.
of me because I stopped playing for like a week because I've been focusing on the podcast. But that fucking move's the best. And then when you get her level 2 limit break is the fucking best. Like you fuck some shit up unless you're fighting like the ghost shit or something. But
Yeah.
overall, like shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah, yeah, like she's a pretty good character, but that was like the only reason I got the house down even remotely in health. Like it was basically the house. I would take it down to about halfway, and then as Aerith, the house would suck me in, and I was like, all right, now time to actually wreck shit with Cloud and
Yeah.
and just hammer the shit out of the house, and then the house would turn to Cloud and suck him in. I'm like, God damn it! I'm like, I hated it because I had to use, you have to use cure so much, and you gotta do, you have to use all your magic and all this stuff. And this house is just a fucking tank. I was like,
It's
oh,
fucking
house.
bullshit, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
was like,
such a bullshit match.
yeah, because like you think of a house, it's made of wood. Shouldn't fire hurt the motherfucker? Like it should be
Mm-hmm.
up in flames. Like
That's true. It didn't have like any weaknesses, huh? Like when I
yeah,
think back on it, it was like all like resistant towards all that shit. Like that's bullshit. Because it was like every element. Good. Oh no, actually I remember now. So if it did fire, you had to do ice. If it did ice, you did fire. And if it did wind, it was like lightning or some shit. Like I remember because you were supposed to like time it so you could stun it and then you could hit it.
yeah,
But I didn't realize that till reading it and actually fully comprehending that because I think that battle took like because I'm doing it on I guess the hardest difficulty, which is normal, I guess,
yeah.
up until you unlock hard. And it took me like 45 fucking minutes or some shit because it was just there like fucking trying to dodge with Eris like weird spin shit that doesn't even dodge. Like it's just like
Yeah.
fuck.
Did you ever because this happened to me and my buddy. We were at the end where the stuff when you defeat it like all the stuff just comes down at you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like all like the top from like the rocks from the top just start coming down on you. And if they actually land on you, they will kill you. I
Oh
was like,
really?
yeah, I was like on Aerith, and I was like you said, the stupid little spin move that doesn't do anything because you're the most unathletic linebacker or running back in the NFL. You're like whoop, 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 and then I spin right into a fucking rock that just kills me. I'm
Oh,
like,
that fucking sucks.
because I forgot to use cure after I defeated it.
Jesus, that sucks. And then you
Yeah.
just well, at least Cloud didn't die, right? Like the whole team wasn't dead; it was just her. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but I had to waste one of the what was it, the Phoenix down, which are very useful, especially later on.
Yeah, I mean, I used to fucking revive a lot, but it's funny. Like for some reason, my Cloud always dies. It's kind of annoying. Like they're always targeting him, and I mean, obviously, like whoever you are, they'll target you more, right? That's just the game's programming.
Yeah.
But I just would get fucking wrecked, and I'm like, God damn it, why did I give it to Cloud? Like,
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to switch it too. It's just like, well, womp womp. I'm just gonna stay dead then.
Well, it
because
doesn't.
that Leviathan fight was fucking annoying. Like that's probably been the worst fight for me right now. Like the Leviathan,
Yeah.
because
Well,
fuck that
doesn't
thing.
yeah, doesn't Barrett have like that? He has that skill that like he attracts the enemies towards him.
Yeah. So what I did as far as that strategy to kill Leviathan, I saw, man, I forgot who I saw on YouTube because I died. Like I did my live stream. I think I attempted for like an hour and a half of death. Like it's just me dying. And like the last attempt, I got really close.
Yeah,
And before all that, like I was just trying to figure out how to do it because everyone was saying you have to do it at level 30. And I was just like, well, I'm level 24. Fuck it. Like
yeah,
I'm gonna do it. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I die
yeah,
hard, whatever. So I do it. And so with Barrett, basically what I did was like use the elemental materia and the lightning and make sure it's on a jointed materia
yeah,
slot, and I combined those. I made sure Cloud and Tifa were basically my healers, and I also made sure like there was a slotted magnifying with the heal, and I
yeah,
would pretty much all regen and just constantly do that. And every time the tidal wave would happen, I would just get whoever had the magnify, like had to do Kurega and get full life, so at least one of them stays alive.
yeah,
Because like since you're so low level, pretty much
yeah,
that tidal wave was like a one shot, you're done unless you figured it out. So I would also do Tifa with barrier, would
yeah,
do Manta barrier or Manta ward, I forgot what it's called,
yeah, yeah.
and I
I
would
know.
put that on Barrett pretty much, and he would just pretty much be doing elemental damage to him multiple times for the most part. And then I would, that was for the most part, my strategy when he was staggered. Everyone would have their limit, and I would save the limit and just fucking unload on that fucker. And after many attempts, it worked out.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. I don't think. I guess I don't know. I don't know if I'm up to that part yet. I don't think I am.
Well, hopefully
But
that tip helps you because
yeah,
honestly, fuck that thing. Like,
yeah,
it's not fun. Like, I saw it the first time and I'm just like, this motherfucker's huge.
yeah,
Like, like you played the original, right?
yeah,
So remember that this is past Midgar,
yeah,
but like when you hit the sand and you're
yeah,
supposed to get a chocobo and walk across, or you fight the giant snake,
yeah,
and that's how big in comparison like I felt it was, because I was like, what the fuck, this thing's huge, like how the fuck am I supposed to beat this? And it was fucking cool, man. It's a fun fight. Like
yeah.
you should check out my video if you like. Again, if you get stuck on it, check it out, and then just you're just gonna see a bunch of like me stressing the fuck out. Like I don't even think I want to say one of them didn't have a mic because I just kept bitching because I was just like, nope, I'm just stressing the fuck out. I'm not gonna have anyone just hear me just say fuck, 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 fuck. Like, because eventually that's all it was. Like it was just
Yeah,
me dodge rolling with that really lame, slow dodge roll that Barrett has too. Like his isn't any better. Cloud and Tifa are the only good ones
yeah,
with a good dodge, but everyone else is just goddamn worthless with the fucking dodge. So
yeah. I know. Like, yeah. I mean, yeah. That seems intense. But yeah, I definitely know how it feels to like just have a bunch of death on stream, especially when you're streaming. I did one time. I think I was playing. Yeah, I was playing COD,
mhm.
the new one that just came out. And I'm like, all right, level one. Everyone else is level 50 and level 50
Some
or
like
above. In
175. Like what the fuck?
and I got this standard loadout. I was like, all right, cool, time to wreck shit, guys. And everyone's like, yeah, yeah, go, Matt, do your shit. And
Mhm.
then 30 minutes later, everyone's like, so switch the game. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I am not taking this right now. You little shits. You got nothing to say. Get the fuck out of the stream. I dropped from like I think I was at like 50 views of people watching me, and then like 40 of them like left. I was like, and 10 of them were just stayed, and they were like, yeah, we're the real champions here.
That's super funny.
I was
Oh man.
like, I was just stressing completely. I couldn't.
I'm assuming you play The Last of Us, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
Um, so I'm playing a playthrough right now. I haven't played it like a month or so because of Final Fantasy, but I'm playing it on not grounded because fuck grounded. First of
yeah,
all, fuck grounded.
yeah,
But I'm playing on the second to the one right before it on that level.
Yeah.
And dude, I swear to God, my streams again like are annoying. Like, but
Yeah.
you could just tell like it's just me getting frustrated and like doing stupid shit and like accidentally killing myself. It's just so goddamn annoying. Like that game in particular has been really frustrating, especially like what's going on with the community right
Yeah.
now. Like, oh, dude, I can't stand what's going on right now. Like, I haven't seen any of the leaks. I don't plan on seeing any of the leaks.
Yeah.
But it was just like, dude, I can't stand like the toxicity amongst people right now. It's just like, and all the shit they're saying to Neil Druckmann, like,
Oh yeah.
shit. I have him on Instagram,
Oh
and
yeah.
like, yeah, I have him on Instagram, and his story, like every morning he's been posting like a message he reads in the morning,
Yeah.
and like, God, dude, some people are fucking pricks, man.
Oh
They're like,
yeah.
they're like a homophobic transvestite fucking dick lover, and I was just like, what the fuck? And he's like, well, good morning to you too. And I'm just like, Jesus, like
Yeah.
whatever's going on with people and why this game matters so much, like they just got to remember Kingdom Hearts was a letdown,
Oh
and
yeah.
and you know, just be done with it. Like, because I don't think this will be a letdown, but again, everyone says the story's stupid or whatever, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
I'm
don't. Yeah.
sorry, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Like Kingdom Hearts for me. I mean, I didn't like not as good as the other ones. I have my own. Definitely have my own. Opinions on Kingdom Hearts. I think they should have extended some parts and shortened other parts.
That's
That's
fair.
just me. That's just me. Because personally, I love the one world with Winnie the Pooh, and that's just me because I think they do a really good job of capturing the innocence that was that TV show.
Oh
And
no, that's fair. I mean, are you talking about 3 in general or just like
yeah,
over?
like three in general, like just
I
kind
don't
of
think
like,
I made it that far in 3 because I was just so disappointed with the Frozen level.
oh yeah.
That's the one that like I was
Well,
like, are you
because
fucking kidding
they
me?
only show like in the whole trailer they showed one part of the Frozen trailer, and that's them climbing up the mountain to hear "Let It Go," and then after that they were like, "Yep, don't give a fuck about the rest of the planet." You're like, okay,
I mean, it was literally the same. It's like I'm gonna climb this mountain 3 times and then you pass the world. Like
yeah,
what? Like I was very pissed at how linear. Like I know they said they were gonna expand on the whole linear open world thing,
yeah,
and they just didn't. Like,
yeah,
like though I love the combat and shit, it's a little too easy for my taste, but
yeah,
there was just some stuff, and then like the way the story ends too. Like I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone, but I got it spoiled for me,
yeah.
so that's why like part of me just gave up because I was like, is that really how it ends? Like I'm fucking done. Like I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
bother. Like this is stupid. Like fucking 10 plus years waiting for that game and fucking I was
yeah,
so bad. I was so
yeah.
mad.
I know. Um I was at the graveyard, and my buddy already beat the game,
Uh-huh.
and I just said, "Fuck it," like drop mic and just walked out of my room, grabbed a beer, came back in, sat down, turned on Madden, and turned on my music. And I was like, "Yep, this is happening." It's
Jesus.
like
Dude, that's
I'm not doing this. Especially
yeah,
how many times I like if you want to talk about stupid deaths on stream, my Twitch is full of them. I mean, full of them because I twitched the Fallen Order,
hmm
Kingdom Hearts, and the beginning of Final Fantasy. And Kingdom Hearts, I think I fell off the map like 14,000 times,
I didn't
and
know you could
in
fall
different
off the map, to be honest with you.
or something hit me and killed me. I think it was something hit me, killed me, and then I flew up in the air and I fell off the map. I think that's what happened.
You just kind of glitched out.
Yeah, but
At
I
least I don't
was
even remember. Fuck.
yeah. It's so hard for me to remember, except for Fallen Order. Where Fallen Order, I just did a jump, missed the ladder, and fell off.
And that's fair. I think that's fair in that game because it's
Yeah,
just, the mechanics of it. Yeah.
I was like, I was like, son of a bitch. And now I come back and I do the same thing. And
hmm
people are like, just stop dying. And I'm like, I'm trying, all right? I'm trying here, guys. And then I get a text or I get an Instagram post the next morning. Hey man, just to let you know, your stream last night sucked. I was like, hey man, didn't ask for your opinion.
Oh, shit, man. See, that's another thing about like, I don't think people understand like what streaming's meant for, at least in my opinion. Because like I think someone, it was Trapped. I think Trapped recently talked shit about gamers, and they're like, well, why would people donate to streamers? And it's nothing. They're fucking, get some talent kind of shit. And it's like, well, first of all, Trapped, who listens to you right now?
Yeah.
Headstrong was your only good song, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then second of all, like, it's about building a community around it. You know what I mean? Like, it's about just overall just engaging with people that enjoy watching people play games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've come across anyone being rude. Or half the time I just laugh it off. I'm just like, oh, well, yeah, I suck. I never said I was good. First of all, I ain't a pro gamer, but it's just one of those things where, like, I don't understand why people get so fucking pissed. It's like, well, dude, you're not even playing, so fuck off. Like, though, the people I do envy, those fucking Bloodborne or Dark Souls speedrunners.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck they do that.
I know, right? Yeah.
I'm like mind blown by that, because it's just like, what the fuck? How?
It's like, I don't know. And like, I don't really know, because like I gave up gaming or streaming, not gaming, but streaming, just because of the sheer fact that I was like, I had a choice. I had either go full on with the podcast or go full on with the streaming. Mm-hmm. And I talked to my sponsors, and I'm like, hey, did you give it to me because I was a streamer, or did you give it to me because I'm a podcaster? And they were like, we gave it to you for the podcast. We don't give a shit about your streaming at all. I was like, well, that made my decision so much easier, because I love gaming so much that I'm like, I don't mind giving up my Twitch, because I'm just like, I don't have to wake up in the morning and hear that. I get to wake up in the morning and someone might send me a text. Another fellow podcaster might send me a text. Hey, man, good episode last night. Listen to it in the car this morning. And I'll be like, oh, this just made my day. Now I can, go to the gym and, slam dunk basketballs and stuff like that. I'm just that confident. I'm like, all right, let's fucking go.
That's true, man. Like if I had to compare, since I'm technically doing both right now, I would say like most of my traction is the podcast, because it's my primary focus. Streaming's just for me. I mean, like I just enjoy doing it, but the podcast community is so much nicer.
Yeah,
like so much nicer, and everyone kind of gives you a shot, or like they'll give you a listen, they'll give you pointers, they'll do something with it. Unless you're in like those sub for sub groups, which are awful.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where, like, okay, cool. Like, I'm actually learning from these people. And I think that's been really insightful for me, especially like I started podcasting with a group of friends, and then I kind of just ended up doing my own show because I moved, and now I really enjoy it for what it is, versus saying that like I did like 3 episodes and that was it. But I definitely plan on keeping going at least once a week for sure. Whether I'm on someone's show or doing my own shows.
Yeah. Like when I first started, I mean, those episodes, I look back today and I can't even listen to those episodes anymore. They were that bad. I was doing them in like the downstairs, I think kitchen, in my kitchen downstairs, and legitimately, like, through my gaming headset, the audio was terrible. The topics I was talking about were terrible, and I was just like throwing 20,000 facts out. Like, my first episode, I think, was 45 minutes, and it's 45 minutes of me just sending facts out about gaming and beer. And then it's like, all right. And then I'm like, all right, see ya, bye. And I'm like, dude, the fuck was that?
Super funny.
I'm like, and then and then I listened to the most recent ones, which now the podcast is getting so much more traction that I'm like the only time one goes out is when there's a guest on now. Like, it's so awesome. I fill out my week with guests, and then I don't have to work for the rest of the month.
Yeah, no shit.
Because I can just post one podcast a week, and then like this week I have I did the one this morning and then one with you, and
Mm-hmm.
then I got like the next Thursday I have 3 because I have one person that's in Australia, so I have to stay up super late to get her on,
That's cool.
and then that one's just audio because you ever do try to do video with someone that is in Australia?
No, I think I'm only done so far Taiwan, and I know I got another one lined up that's out of the country, but I don't remember where.
Yeah, Australia is a bitch and a half. Like, especially for, I guess for me, it might not. I guess it would be better connection for Texas, but definitely if you're on the West Coast, you have really a lot better connection because I connected with people over there, and they're like, yeah, if you were over here, you could connect like 10 times better with people in Australia. I don't know how, but somehow
It's
it,
interesting.
yeah, it is. And like I told my buddy that was over there, I was like, yeah, never again, because he would literally, the picture would pop in and then pop out and then pop back in. And then I would only get half the audio. I was like,
Oh
it was,
shit, that sucks.
yeah, I was like, I had to throw out the entire podcast. And I was like, I had to reschedule him to do it, come back and do the same thing again.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
uh,
Good.
but anyway, yeah. So do you stream on Twitch, or are you just? I saw you were on YouTube, so
Yeah, I'm only on. I have a Twitch. My only problem with Twitch is that it doesn't archive until you get a certain amount of followers and shit like that. And the reason I didn't do that was because, obviously being a general manager of an Alamo draft house, my hours are kind of fucked. Like,
yeah.
I worked on, all kinds hours of the day. And if I would stream, I would stream really late.
Mhm.
So, obviously, you have your night owls and shit, but like, I feel like no matter what, like, I probably won't get as much viewership just because it's late. So I was like, okay, let me just archive the videos through YouTube once I found out it did that and just
Yeah.
share it, and that's just kind of been my thing, like, again, like gaming's kind of like on my own time half the time, especially now I got plenty of time, but, it's
Yeah.
just one of those things where I do it on YouTube. I think mostly what I stream at this point has been Smite because I play crossplay with my brother and a friend of mine,
Mhm.
and Paladins. That's kind of
Yeah.
what we've been kind of going back and forth on. And then I'm doing my playthroughs of Last of Us and Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy being the longest one by far. I think right now I'm currently at like 17 videos of just like my journey through Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping to wrap that up, not necessarily this week, but very soon,
Yeah.
because I know I have another plan, like in-depth conversation of Final Fantasy coming up because so much shit to talk about in that game, like so much shit.
Oh yeah. It's like I remember my on my Twitch I had just this one. It was just an hour. I think it was, yeah, it was an hour, but it was an hour in the beginning of the game, and where you meet all the like characters and stuff like that, and all like Jesse's flirting with Cloud, and then you had
Mm-hmm.
Tifa flirting with Cloud, and then just the whole time when they were doing that, I was just like, yeah, Cloud, and everyone was like, oh my god, how old are you? I'm like, I'm like, guys, chill.
That's
Go
funny.
into go into your parents' fridge and grab a beer and chill.
No shit, man. I mean, yeah, there's so much to talk about that game, like so much. Like looking back at the game, because I'll watch my playthroughs, just so I can remember some of the topics I want to bring up again. And
Mhm.
God, man, there's so much shit. Like so much shit they like subtly changed but didn't change. So I'm
Mhm.
just kind of like, oh man, like there's a lot to talk about here. And then I haven't gotten to the ending yet.
Oh
And
yeah.
once I get to the ending, it's gonna be fucking interesting. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. The it's really been setting up for a really really good ending. And like the first one, the original one was by far like one of the best games to ever, I think, to ever that I've ever played. Like it was like even me as when I played it, I was a young kid, and I still fucking remember that game.
Yeah, no shit.
Like
Yeah.
like
That shit was baller too. Like there was a lot of shit going on in that game.
oh
Like
yeah.
a lot of shit. Like so good.
Yeah, and like you said, all the mechanics and stuff like that, they did flawlessly, this time around,
No.
with everything, in the remake. I I really just enjoyed every bit of this one.
Hell yeah, dude. It was good
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. So what else do you play other than the ones that you brought up already? Anything else?
So something I'm gonna get into really soon is Don't Starve Together. Have you played that?
No, I have not.
So just think of Minecraft, but like really fucking tripped out. Like, and Minecraft is already tripped out as it is. So like basically you play these really obscure like Tim Burton looking like characters. The art style is fucking cool.
Yeah.
And in Don't Starve Together specifically, you get to pick your character, and each character has a specific skill.
Mm.
And it could be useful to you. It can't be useful to you. Like there's some shit that in there, like as you read, you're like, how is that even fucking useful? And
Yeah.
like it's just one of those things where you find out in the game like why it becomes useful. But it's cool because basically they'll drop you into a world that is always different when you start a new world, and you have to build and survive. So you could build your base and all this shit. Same thing shit as Minecraft. I haven't really gotten to the end game of it
Mm-hmm.
because I don't really know if there is one. Because the first game when it was just Don't Starve, like the idea was to go through multiple portals to get
Yeah.
to the boss, and you kill the boss. And
Uh, huh.
but you would do that as you build. Because what was crazy about the first game, originally it's still the same concept. You would it would go through the worlds because there's a night and day, and you have to, and it varies too. Like it constantly changes, so it makes you think quicker. You have to watch your your mental health,
Yeah.
your stomach, like your starvation, and your regular health. And
Huh.
you have to find ways to keep those up, because if you keep, like, if just say your health is good and your food is good,
Yeah.
but your mental health is really low, you start hallucinating and seeing shit. And like
Okay.
you start seeing shit like fucking vibrate on screen and shit, and you're
Yeah.
just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And I just recently found out you fix that by like building shit, like
Yeah.
more than anything. And it's fucking cool. It's a fun game. I had a good time. Hey, puppies, chill out. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely interesting.
This sounds amazing. It sounds like something that I should play at like 2 o'clock in the morning sometime, right on my day off.
Dude, honestly, it's fucking fun. Like if you were to drink and play this game, like you would
Yeah.
lose it. Because like I was playing we were share playing because you could play local co-op, like in your in your house or whatever. But you could play online too.
Yeah.
And man, it was just, he was playing. He was like, "What the fuck's happening?" And then like we see a frog, and before we killed the frog and we ate frog legs and we cooked it and shit and we ate frog legs, and we're like, "Oh look, there's another frog," and that gave us a lot of health. Fuck it, let's go kill one. And what we didn't notice was like there's a shit ton of those pond, I guess, where they spawn.
Yeah.
So we didn't notice that. So I'm just like, fuck it. I got my axe, and I get my axe. I fucking hit the frog, and what do you call it? Literally, I hit the frog once, and like 30 of them spawn, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And they start like attacking the fuck out of us. So it's like 2 guys versus like 30 frogs. I'm just like, dude, we gotta go. And like we just fucking ran, dude. Like we ran, and apparently every time these frogs attack you, they take some of your shit. So like through the end of it, like we were just like left with like our axe, and like all the shit to make fire and all the shit was gone just completely.
That's insane.
Dude, yeah, it was like most tripped up game I've ever played. Like I found it like when they gave it to us in PlayStation Plus, like back in PS4, like 4 years ago or some shit, and it was always fun. But like the fact that you can play with friends now is even better. Like it's probably the best concept I've seen. Hold on, I'm gonna get my dog really quick. It's going crazy.
All right.
That,
All good, man.
God, she's still going. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it's definitely a fun game.
Nice.
Is there anything else you're playing?
No, not really at the moment. I mean, I'm just I was playing I played the new Predator game that came out recently.
Oh, is that good?
It's kind of weird, to be honest. It doesn't have a single player. It doesn't have like a campaign or anything. It's all multiplayer.
Oh, it's just multiplayer.
Yeah, which is kind of just crazy. I kind of hate that when they're just like multiplayer games and not don't have a story.
No, I agree. I mean, that's
Because I feel like you can make a really great one. Like
and Predators just never had good luck on like getting any of that done, like ever.
yeah. Well, it's the same. It's the same thing. Like all the Alien games. Like the only good one that ever came out for Alien was what should I call it? Isolation. You ever play that?
No, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah, it's like top horror games right now, and it only really kicked because I played it when it was still on Xbox Live. It was still a 2-star game. It literally they were like, this game fucking sucks. It's terrible. Don't play it. Sega did it again. Blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, it became free on Game Pass, and they were like, "Oh, we fucking love this game." And I'm like, "What changed your mind
No
about this
shit.
game?" And then I was watching my buddy. He's been streaming it the past couple days, and I've been like loving watching it because he's just like he's like the most uncreative guy ever. It's just a game he's streaming and the Discord group to join the chat. And I'm like, dude, there's so many creative names that you could put out there for your stream for Alien Isolation that you could really just nerd out on. But then I realized he really hasn't played or hasn't watched any of the movies except for the like one time we watched the second one. What was that one? That was Aliens in high school. Like other than that, he
God.
has not watched any of them. I was like, dude,
He
you're not
needs to
picking
go
up on.
get educated.
Yeah, I was like, do you need me to walk you through some stuff? And he's like, no, I got this.
Jesus.
And like all of his people are like, all right, we're gonna go play this other game. Let us know when you're streaming something else. And then he'll like at like midnight he'll start streaming like Rocket League when his West Coast people join.
Dude, Rocket League's fucking fun. I actually enjoy the fuck out of Rocket League. I'm not good at it anymore because I stopped playing,
Yeah,
but it's fucking fun. I enjoy that.
yeah. I played Rocket League. It was I actually enjoyed it, but like you said, I just don't you play it enough to actually be good at it.
Nah, that's fair for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Hey,
but
I'll be right back. This
all right,
dog is stressing me out.
all right, good man. Yeah, but what should I call it? Was so did you when you were streaming? Now this was big for me back when I first started streaming. I used to like late at night. My partiers would get on like Fridays, and they'd be like, "Wait, what are you drinking?" And I would drink on the stream. Have you ever gotten like really like drunk on stream?
You know, I haven't been using the camera lately. Um, and honestly, like for some reason, dude, like I'll drink quite a bit and it
Yeah,
just doesn't happen. It's just kind of disappointing, I guess, because my mind's thinking, depending on what
yeah,
the game is, but I just can't. I wish I did though, because it'd be a lot funner. Like in certain ways, you know, like just being inebriated and not doing well. Like it's probably like a goal almost. Because I mean, I think maybe Warzone recently with some friends, but even then, I don't think I was like super inebriated or anything. But
yeah.
shit's funny.
Yeah, I literally had several. I think actually the best one was the it wasn't a stream, but I did a podcast with a buddy, and me and him got so inebriated. We started the first thing we did was we ordered pizza and in between us was the pizza in my room, and then he's like he just brought stuff with him, and I was like I didn't know. I had my you know my chest free cooler up here with beer, and I'm like, oh, we're drinking hard stuff. He's like, yeah, sure. I was like, oh, okay. So he starts pouring us glasses of scotch, and I'm like, oh god, this is where we're gonna start Pizza and scotch. All right. Did my first one. All right. Give me a second one. All right. You got the second one? All right. Done. Done. Me and him were blacked out drunk by the time the podcast ended because I just don't remember. I just let him out of the house, came back in, hopped on my bed, and just out. I was just gone. Like I was like, damn. But I've had a couple of those streams where I was just like, you could tell I was slurring a little bit. I was like, like
I'm
I was
fucked up. I'm sorry.
And then I would bring up some references and stuff like that, and it was intense. It was fun, but it was also at the same time I was like, man, if I was actually a pro gamer, like that would be some hate mail I'd be getting at some point in my. Look at this drunk asshole.
It's like you're making us look bad, bro. Trap says we don't already have talent. Like what the fuck? Fuck Trap.
I literally I don't know. I never took I guess I never took to learn like I learned how to podcast a little bit, like, but I've never actually spent time to learn how to stream.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's a rule book, in my opinion. Like maybe that's why mine aren't that highly viewed, right? But like I don't know. I think they're fine.
Yeah. But like my buddy's like, yeah, he's like, you gotta learn how to stream better. I'm like, I think I'm doing that. He's like, what? I'm like, I got the capture card plugged in. I got this and I got that. He's like, dude, you're so far off from that. I was like, you mean getting hate mail? He's like, yeah, getting a lot of hate mail. I was like, I get that every morning. I was like, I'll stream until 2 a.m. and then I'll wake up the next day at 7 and be like, well, yep, that didn't go well last night. Okay. Cross that off, chip in the bucket list. All right.
I mean, also too, like, I mean, they're still watching clearly if you're still getting mail.
Oh yeah.
So,
yes.
I mean, there's that point. So,
yeah, I had a guy on my Instagram or a guy I called out on Instagram because I was like, he literally he's like, stop using bots. It's not cool. I'm like, I'm not using bots. He's like, well, then how do you have this many views with 0 followers? I was like, well, because I have a podcast that's actually pretty successful, and like the people are actually popping in to say hi. And he was like, oh, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, were you just literally commenting just to make? He's like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna take away the comment right now. I was like, if you have to apologize in 2 seconds after a guy confronting you about something that you posted, clearly the guy was just there to spam you.
yeah, no shit, man. I don't know. Again, like, it's a weird community. I haven't seen anything negative just yet. I'm sure I will.
Oh, I love the negativity. I just love it. I just love making jokes about it because it makes for good podcasting. It really does.
That's pretty true. I can imagine. Just talking shit about people talking shit.
Oh yeah, like it's yeah. It was fun because I had this other guy, Jay. He also has a Twitch account, and me and him were just going back and forth about we literally we just took pictures of what people were talking shit of us on Twitch, and we read it out loud live on my podcast, and he was like, and like people like can't believe the negativity that like goes through those chat lists.
That's crazy. Jesus.
I had someone tell me I have a big head. I'm like, thanks. You're such a nice person. That really hurt my feelings. Oh my god, I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep. No, dude. Like I don't understand. I don't understand. Like you said, weird community. But all right. So let's see. You said San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
What craft beer do you have around there?
Shit. As far
Yeah,
as local scene.
yeah, local scene.
So we got Weathered Souls Brewery. Not sure if you've had any of that because where are you out of?
New Jersey.
New Jersey? Probably not,
No,
unless like Great American Beer Fest or something. Because I know they've been out there.
I
Weathered
was in
Souls,
yeah, I was in Louisiana one time,
dude.
but I
Louisiana. Did you ever try Tin Cup in Louisiana
no, I had
or Tin Roof? I'm sorry, they're called Tin Roof.
Tin Roof. No, I still don't recognize. The only one I had from was in New Orleans. It
Probably Albedo.
was oh no, you take Bourbon Street all the way to the end, and you bang a right, and then you bang a left down this shady back alley, and it's that.
You mean
Like,
most of New Orleans?
yeah, basically back alley that just smells like piss.
Yep, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Um, Shit, man, I don't remember that one because I know I've been up there periodically just because my sister and I visit some breweries when we're out there because she knows I'm into that shit.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we got Weathered Souls Brewery. They're really good on their dark like stouts and porters. They got a carnivorous series that they tend to fuck with a lot.
Mhm.
Um, I make all kinds of shit. What's cool about them is like we actually did a collaboration with them once with Black Panther
Oh,
when it
nice.
first came out. It was called what was it called? Fuck, this was like when Black Panther came out, right? So like 2-3 years ago. But it was
Yeah.
All Hail the King or some shit like that. And dude, it was probably
Oh,
one of the
nice.
best stouts I've ever had. It was a milk stout, and they purposely made it for just the draft houses. And we did it opening weekend, and we sold like a keg or two. And it's fucking legit. They're a fun brewery to fuck with. We got Busted Sandal down here too. Busted Sandal's really like I actually love them a lot. They
Mhm.
got a really good vibe going there. Recently, they moved over to Elotes, Texas, which isn't too far from San Antonio. It's like a good like 40-30 minute drive to get to them right now.
Mhm.
And they got some solid stuff going on up there. Really vibey, really homey place. When I went, I got invited originally to their what they call Portapalooza. So
Yeah.
basically, all the owners and the investors make their own porter. So
Oh,
they
nice.
host this huge event called Portapalooza. So you pay about $20. You get a free commemorative glass, and
Yeah.
you get to try I think 5 different porters. So I went because I wanted to do business with them down in Laredo because I used to be the general manager down in Laredo, and
Oh, cool.
I hit him up and I was like, hey, I really want to do some business with y'all. Do you guys self distribute kind of shit like that?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, we did, and we're down to do that. Like, he's like, when are you in town to check us out? And I'm like, honestly, I'm driving up right now. Um, you know,
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, we have an event. You want to come by? And I'm like, for real? And then he's like, yeah, I'll put your name on the list, dude. Just show up and ask for Mike, and we
Yeah.
got you. And I'm just like, oh, okay, fuck yeah. So obviously, yeah, dude, it was fucking crazy. So I show up to my wife's place, and because she was living in San Antonio at the time,
Yeah.
and what do you call it? I was, I unpacked my stuff. She was heading out to work, and I was like, well, I got nothing to fucking do. So I was like, let me head over there. So I get ready. The brewery at the time was only like not even 10 minutes away from the apartment she was at. So
Mhm.
I just drove up, right? And I show up and I'm like, hey, I'm here with Mike. They added me on the list, and then they're just like, oh, you're Juan. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they fucking hook it up with a glass, a wristband to get in. And sorry, this puppy's going to kill himself. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, they just get me inside and they're like, hey, go ahead and vibe, the event's already started. Feel free to have a porter or whatever. And I was like, all right, fucking dope, fucking dope. And then, I get a porter and I'm just chilling. I'm standing there. And then they're like, hey, Mike, this guy's here for you. And he's wearing, like, I guess a logo shirt. And he had a golden footprint on the back, which was meaning he was an owner or an investor.
Yeah.
So he came up to me. He's like, yeah, man, I'm one of the sales reps here. And, I'm a partial owner too. And, so what do you think about us or what? And I'm like, well, I haven't tried anything yet, man. I'm just checking out the vibe. It's cool. And then he's like, let me get you something. Let me get you something. And the wristband was supposed to mean I get 5 beers.
Yeah.
But since I was with him, he's like, nah, don't even mark it. It's fine. This guy's fine. Don't worry about it. And then like they pour me all these kinds of porters, dude. Like one was I think it was called Cafe Doce,
Okay.
and it basically was a cinnamon leche porter. And
Hmm.
holy shit, dude. Probably one of the best porters I ever had. There was one called Vigo, and that was
Okay.
really weird, really rough around the edges, made with, I want to say prunes and barrel aged in whiskey.
Hmm.
Yeah, super
That's nice.
different. I was like,
Yeah.
this is fucking weird. And so he's giving me all these porters, right? And I'm drinking them, I'm chilling. And he leaves me alone for a bit. And I start talking to the rest of his crew, the rest of the owners and stuff. And they're just like,
Yeah.
so why are you out here? And then I'm just like, well, hey, man, I want to do business. Like, you guys clearly got a good vibe. You guys got a good name in San Antonio. Like, you know, I'll get you in Laredo, man. Just tell me when and where.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, how would it work? And we're just kind of talking logistics and our strategy or whatever. And um, then they start fucking smoking the beer, and
Oh.
I'm like, what? And I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean smoking? And so I have a video. I think it's on my Twitter, and I think I still have it in my phone to this day too. So basically, what happens, like, what they do is like they got a block of, I want to say maple, any kind of wood, and they have chips. So they got a big ass carafe, and what they do is like they'll light the chips on fire,
Hmm.
and they put the carafe on top. The chips start smoking. Obviously you could see the carafe fill up with smoke.
Hmm.
They cover it with a towel. They pour your beer in, and they start shaking it. And I'm just like, what the fuck? They're smoking a beer. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, what is happening? And dude, I did it with the Cafe Dosha I mentioned and the Virgo or the Vigo. And
Yeah.
holy shit, dude, I've never had a smoked beer in my life up until that. And it was probably the best way to have a porter. Like, I'm not even gonna fuck around. I think I had one with maple, and then I had another one with mesquite, I want to
Oh,
say.
nice. Nice.
So it was fucking out of this world, dude. Completely different. You would think it'd be subtle, but surprisingly,
Yeah.
it was actually really strong and aromatic. Like you could smell it. It
Yeah.
was creamier, oddly enough,
Hmm.
and it was just out of this world. And mind you, like at that point, I think I stayed for like a good chunk of the event. I had probably maybe 8 different porters.
Yeah.
Say, yeah, I want to say 8 different porters, and I was a little blitzed at that point, and I was just like, dude, this is amazing. I'm like, I'm totally doing business with you. And like, I
Yeah.
left. It was a great fucking experience with them specifically, and God, it was legit as fuck. Like, the craft beer scene's pretty fun down here. Like,
Yeah.
I could only imagine like up northern states though, where like they're doing really crazy shit. I've heard some shit, and I'm just like, I need to try that shit out soon.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, we got some good stuff around here. Like, I'm not anywhere near like northern New Jersey. Like northern New Jersey, you got some good stuff going on up there, but it's not nearly as good as I think as down here because we got Flying Fish is like less than a couple miles away from me. Tonewood is about the same distance, and then we got just a bunch of different breweries just popping up out of nowhere. Like you
Mm-hmm.
could, like for a while there, it was just like, especially once I turned 21, it was like a brewery would pop up like maybe you know once twice a year, which around here is pretty insane because they actually put a ban on breweries popping up because they
Oh
start
shit.
up here. They're starting to compete with the bar scene and stuff like that.
Oh
So
really? And they ban it?
and
It's
they
hurting them that much?
well, I guess, but like some of the governors kind of like put in those weird rules and regulations for breweries.
Huh.
Like a lot of our breweries can't distribute out of state. Like I think out of those, I think Flying Fish and Tonewood are like the only ones down here that go out of state. I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I'm a regular at this one in Haddonfield. It's Kings Road, and their basically their thing is that they don't make a bad beer.
Hmm.
That's like their thing. Like they 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 normally don't like they have stouts, but they really don't do porters or anything. They don't do anything too extravagant. So it's like
Uh-huh.
their menu goes lager, blonde, stout, IPA, and like West Coast IPA, and all of it's good. Like you don't. you can go down the list legitimately and just be like satisfied with every choice that you made.
Huh. That's
And
cool.
and then you got the place that really does the kind of like the experimenting it now, especially now, recently, they have yards over across the river in Philly. They do Yards Brewing Company does a series in their brewery called Experimental, and basically they just experiment with different recipes, name them, and then just throw them onto the menu for people to try. And if people like it, they'll they'll keep it on the menu. If they don't, they'll just can it and just start from scratch with another beer.
Huh. Interesting.
Which was the last time I was at Yards. That was definitely a surprise. I was like, this is actually pretty good, because I forget what was on there. I think it was like their summer beer was on there. I forget the name of it though, but it was super good. It had a bunch of fruit in it and stuff like that. It was kind of like a fruity beer, like a fruity blonde style beer.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
Like,
then yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Just because I've traveled this last summer. I did a road trip down to New Orleans from up here. So on our way down, we stopped at like Raleigh beer. We stopped in Raleigh, went to the Raleigh beer garden that has like 300 beers on tap.
Nice.
Had a bunch. We just stayed there for like basically half a day. We spent half a day in a beer garden in Raleigh, and then we went to Greenville. Got there too late. We didn't really have beers there, and then like I said, we had the ones down in Louisiana, and the one in New Orleans. Then we came on our way back. We stopped in Nashville, and Nashville had legitimately probably the weirdest breweries that I've seen. Like their breweries are like 3 floors and stuff like that. They have like
the fuck.
It's like nightclubs. Like that's what
fucking cool.
Yeah, it's like
shit. I'll hit that shit up.
Yeah, like literally like Broadway in downtown Nashville is just 3-floor restaurant after 3-floor restaurant, and then at the very end it is this I think Rock Bottom Brewery, and that's where we ate dinner that night. And me and my buddies were just like sitting there chilling, drinking. We had probably a good 6, 7, maybe 8 beers.
Nice.
And the bartender, or the waitress, said something I'd never heard anyone ever ask me before. Aren't you guys drunk yet? like I just ate a like 20-pound burger that you guys gave me because I wanted a burger, but it came out with a burger that ate too much McDonald's.
Hey, hold on one second. I can't believe this dog's losing again. One second on my dog at this point.
Yeah.
She's losing it.
But yeah, definitely. If you have a chance ever, just hit up Nashville.
No, that sounds fucking legit. I mean, it's definitely something that's right up my alley. I mean, I haven't been able to obviously be around craft beer in a while just because of being outside of work, But
Yeah.
I've just done so much business with breweries and shit. I appreciate them a lot for sure. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they've really like I spend most of my time, especially when I travel and stuff like that. I spend a lot of time in the different like local breweries and just the bar scene in general.
Oh yeah, man, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
For
that's.
sure.
I always find I always like especially when I travel alone. Like if I traveled to Wisconsin to watch the Packers play.
Nice.
And when I went to I found this local dive bar, like this dirty dive bar in just downtown Wisconsin. And I'm like sitting there, I was like, yeah, you guys got good food here? And they're like, yeah, we got excellent food. Do you know who we are? I'm like, no, not really. And they were like, all the chefs come here after they're done work. We're like the only place that stays open past like 3 in the morning, so they can purposely just so we can get all the chefs food.
That's fucking cool.
It's like, damn. I was like, yo, you guys are legit. And I stayed there because they had a great tap list and they were legitimately a 5-minute walk away from my Hilton in downtown Green Bay.
Nice.
I was like, this is the Wisconsin thing. And fun fact, everyone says Kansas City has the best smelling tailgate. They are wrong. Green Bay does. Because those motherfuckers are just pouring their Red's apple ale on top of like onions and peppers and the brats. Like I'm like,
why Reds?
because of the high sugar content.
That's awful though. Like I don't care how fucked up I'll get.
That's what they do up there. Like
it's interesting. It's
yeah.
like putting Smirnoff with vodka or something.
Yeah, well, I partied with the Iceman up there, like the guy that does the frozen Lambo thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I partied with him. He's like, yeah, man, here you go. Here's a beer. I love your cheese head. I love your jersey. I was like, okay, cool. I open up the beer, and he's like, yep. He opens up his beer, drinks it, goes, yep, a little bit for me, a little bit for that, back to a little bit of me, back to a little bit of that. I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on?
It's fucking weird.
he's like
such a weird tradition.
I'm keeping everything moist. That's how you do it. Like this is how you do it. I'm like, I mean, at home I just do barbecue sauce and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah. He's like, nah, man, this is legit. Beer. I was like, okay. He gave me one. I was like, damn, this is actually really good. I thought it was gonna be alcoholic-y and all this stuff, but he actually waits for the syrup to collect at the bottom.
Yeah.
Pours the next like little bit of beer.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets absorbed into and just softens the broth. But also too, their brats up there are like legit. They're like legitimately a foot long.
That's fucking legit. I love bratwurst. That's
my
my shit right there.
Oh yeah, dude. I still have like dreams of going up there in the meat section of their. I think it's Costco up there. Mm-hmm. And I would go up there and I just have dreams because all the cuts of meat that you can get up there is ridiculous.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, because in Wisconsin, my Uber driver who picked me up from the airport when I first got there, she's like, yeah, I just sit here waiting for all the people to come in. I'm gonna take you to your hotel here, and then we literally 5 seconds out of the airport, cattle truck.
Oh,
she's like, I hate sitting behind these things, and I'm like looking at her, and she was like, oh yeah, right, you're from New Jersey, you don't know this, right? I was like, you know what? I'm like, it's a cattle truck. She's like, yeah, but if you don't see one in Wisconsin, you didn't have the Wisconsin experience, and you're having it in legitimately 5 seconds. I was like, yeah, but like it's like the October, like all that's on the road is either cattle trucks or maybe the farmers. That was like kind of about it. Like
the farmers.
It was like late at night. I was like, wasn't expecting to, but immediately as soon as I got to my hotel, unpacked everything, went to the Lambeau Field atrium, and inside of there they have a bar, and it's the most expensive bar you'll ever be in your entire life. I thought my Miller Lite was gonna come in a gold pint glass.
A gold pint glass?
Yeah, because I paid like $6 for, or $8 for a Miller Lite in the atrium.
Huh. Interesting. It sounds dope.
Yeah, but it was cool, But yeah, traveling and going to breweries is pretty dope.
Yeah, I agree. That shit's fun.
Yeah, but do you guys get any like out of state stuff too, like in your draft house?
Oh yeah. No, I mean like we get a lot of mainstay stuff though, like Dogfish Head, all that bullshit. Like nothing too super crazy. I mean, because you know how there's a distributing rule. You know what I mean? Like that's just part of the law of how all that stuff works. And they have actual limitations. And if someone else has like Laredo was interesting because like they're obviously south of the border. We didn't have a lot of distributors. We only had Southern Distribution, LNF Distributors, which was my favorite, and Benny Keith, and those were our only options. So that was part of the reason I would make those trips, to just kind of reach out to people, because I started looking across Texas as a brand, as a whole, to get more different craft beer, because at some point it was all the same shit.
Yeah.
And like, we were obviously the trendsetters in Laredo, as far as bringing in craft beer, because like, no one was into it up until we showed up. So at some point, like, literally, like, our tap well was the best one in town, but like, if you go anywhere else, it was just the same shit over and over again. So so I decided to go to different cities. Like, Weathered Souls from San Antonio wasn't distributed through any of those distributors, but they were self-distribute. So they were willing to come down. I made a deal with them. I've made a deal with Lazy Beach from out of Corpus, and I got them to come down. I made a deal with Big River Brewery as well, and they were from far Texas, and all those experiences were legit, because we just went to go visit them, and they'd wine and dine the fuck out of us, really, and just be like, "Yo, we want your business," and we gave them our business, and it was a win-win situation, like, all the time. And as far as out of state, yeah, there's limitations. I mean, there was stuff that we could get, but it just wasn't. I guess it just do well in our market sometimes. I mean, Dogfish was pretty popular down there. Yeah. I mean, Dogfish Head was big. We ordered a lot from them. I'm trying to remember, man. Laredo's draft beer menu was different. Yeah, because we focus a lot on local, just because as a brand, that's kind of what we try to do.
Yeah.
I know we were working with Ballast Point at some point, and that was fair. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I know everyone's in love with their Sculpin, but I could care less for it.
Yeah.
What else?
What was it? Ballast Point didn't they? Weren't they Victory at Sea too? That's the other one.
Oh, Avery. Yeah. I think I want to say. Yeah, I forgot. Was it them? Victory at Sea. That was their coconut porter or some shit.
It was no, it was just their porter. I think it was a vanilla. Yeah, it was like a vanilla.
Yeah, there you go.
Vanilla porter. Because I had it. I actually had the one that was barrel aged in vanilla coffee beans or something like that. It was fucking good. I remember that one.
Yeah, they make some solid beer. I mean, like, I just wasn't into them as far as like business wise. But yeah, I mean, we tried to. I mean, anytime we had a chance, an opportunity to bring something new on, that's what we would do. We were always the exclusive place to bring stuff, because fuck having the same shit over and over again. I mean, I know we tried our best. We worked with New Braunfels Brewing Company, which is specifically just sour beer. I'm not sure if you're a fan of those, but that guy's fucking cool. His name's Kelly Meyer, and the way that guy does business is hilarious. Like, and the way he brews beer is hilarious too. He was telling us the last time I spoke with him, one of the conversations I had with him, that like his brewing method is hilarious, because he'll just put a bunch of shit kind of like in a keg, and like he has like a storage of them, and they're all just kind of like unnamed, unknown beers. Like, they're just in there, and they tend to do bottle releases, or they release that keg for like one week or whatever. And it's fucking crazy. Like, I actually had this one called, man, I forgot the fucking name. I need to find out. But the fucking beer smelled like aged cheese, like legit aged cheese, like as you poured it. And everyone would fucking, like, they lost it. They were just like, no, dude, fuck that shit. And I was just like, nope. It was the most delicious sour I've had. It would come out like dark as night. A pretty syrupy consistency, not super syrupy, but enough. And smelled like fucking cheese. And holy shit, it was delicious. Like, we were all just like, fuck the, like, I'll sacrifice the cheese smell for fucking for that beer, because it is fucking good for sure.
Nice. Yeah. So basically, you guys are down there. Like, when you think of craft beer in Texas, you guys basically just pop up. if you're in I guess around San Antonio, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit, man. I mean, Houston's a good scene too. I mean, obviously with like St. Arnold and stuff. I know Carbach being brought out was kind of like lame on some levels, but Anheuser-Busch is actually doing a better job at like trying to define themselves in the craft scene. It's not, to me, it's still not my favorite, but being surrounded by that a lot, I would brag on them a lot because they got rid of a lot of specialty stuff that I enjoyed because that's just what AB does.
Oh yeah.
And obviously they're trying to come back to doing their own thing, and they're fair. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. Obviously, Carbach was like my favorite brewery for a while, and then obviously that got diminished. But we call it, they're fair now. Lazy Beach has probably been one of my favorite breweries just because they had something called a tropical stout where you could drink a stout in the heat. And it's fucking like, what? Like, that's bullshit. Like, I'm not gonna drink a stout in the heat. Like, hell no. And I was proven really fucking wrong. I'll tell you what. That thing was light as you could think. And like, I was really surprised. Like, I probably can't even describe it correctly, but like, it was probably one of the most refreshing stouts I've ever had. And it was tasty. And then they wine and dined me too. I remember going there. And it was me, my projectionist, and my kitchen manager, I believe, and my bar manager. Actually, I don't remember. I forgot how many of us went. And we went. We're like, hey, we're with Alabama Draft House in Laredo. And the minute we said that, they sent out this girl who's a sales rep, and she's like, "Well, y'all want to try it?" And I'm like, "Whatever, like we're just here to try to make some selections, and we'll take some back home, and we'll give you a call on what we're gonna buy." And she's just like, "All right, cool." And she comes over with like fucking 3 to 4 flights. And I was like, what the fuck? And like, she's just like, all right, this is what this is. This is actually in the back that no one could try it now. And everyone in the brewery was looking at us like, what the fuck are these guys? These guys are just getting everything. They gave us shirts. They gave us growlers to take back home. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, we literally drank probably like, I want to say close to $200 worth of beer and got it completely for free. And I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, I brought a couple beers after because I was just like, well, man, what the fuck? Y'all can't just give me free shit and spend me not to buy anything, So that's not how I do business,
Yeah.
But it was crazy, dude. Like, they were all fucking like ready for it. And they actually were one of the first ones who do like a higher ABV kombucha.
Nice.
So most of their kombucha varies from like 4.8% to about 6%. And dude, holy shit, their kombucha is fantastic. Like I'm not even kidding. Like, that's probably part of the reason like I really enjoy them, because they do that style specifically. Because it's the flavors, the way they do their like batches, they're at random. There's one called the Naked Kombucha. Is like, and it's just the clear liquid, like typical kombucha. And then the way they make their recipes, like the owner gave us a tour, and he's just like, all right, man, this is how we do the kombucha. And he starts kind of explaining this to us, and he's like, this is how we do it. Like there's really no plan. Like, we just fuck it, throw some chocolate powder in there, like let's throw some herbs in there. Like, this is what we're kind of aiming for. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, it was the most relaxed like way to brew. Like, so unfocused, but like executed perfectly. And dude, it was delicious. Like, every kombucha I had from them, I can't hate it. There was one that was like cucumber, lime, mint, and coriander, I believe. And holy shit, dude, that kombucha, like, I was detoxing my body and getting drunk. So it was fucking fantastic. Like, so good.
Nice.
But that's definitely one of my favorites. Every time I like visit Corpus, I always make sure to hit them up, because they're great people. They're like the nicest people too.
That's great. That's always like the best, giving the business to the people that are actually really nice too.
Yeah, man. I mean, man, we had a really shitty story with Lorelei Brewing Company. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're out of Corpus too. And man, like, they, like, the one bartender there gave us like the worst service, and we almost felt like she was racist.
Yeah.
And like, it got to the point where like they actually expanded and were getting distributed through LNF in Laredo. And they were trying to pitch us them, and we're like, nope. Like, and then they're like, why? Because like, we usually help them out, because obviously we built that kind of relationship. And I was like, honestly, dude, like, it's not even about like you guys. Like, it's them being rude to us, and we almost felt like discriminated against. And we told them the story, and the owner of Lorelei actually eventually came down and talked to us. And then they're like, hey, like, whoever you guys were talking about, like, they're gone. They don't work for the company anymore. Like, give us a chance. And I'm just like, okay, pour your beer. Pour your beer. Let's try it out. Let's see. Cause like, we only tried one beer there cause that person just didn't attempt to talk to us.
Yeah.
So like they bring over like, 5-6 beers and we try a couple and we're like, yeah, we'll give you a second chance, man. But just know that like, fuck that. Like, don't let your business die because of the one asshole. And they're like, no, we got rid of that person. I'm like, all right, cool, man. I mean, I hope I never walk in there and that person's there and,
Yeah.
it kind of sucks for, just your own, well-being as far as growing a business because they're pretty bad at rough around the edges on that for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. That sucks, man. There's nothing worse than getting bad customer service at a brewery. I mean, I've been
Yeah, I
there.
mean, especially like, I know they were like local and they were kind of getting big too fast in their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And, we get it, but like, you just didn't have to be a dick about it. Like, we're just literally asking, like, what do you have? We're not from here. Like at the
Yeah,
end of the day, we're here trying to find business for you too, because we're
yeah,
going to buy your beer and also buy it in bulk, like, so it's just weird. You would just think that people like shouldn't get complacent and just think about like, hey, if I'm selling a product, like I got to always be on top of my game, but again, that person obviously isn't there. So their beer's pretty solid though. They have this one called Murdude and
yeah.
it's a coffee stout. It's
Nice,
like 8-9%. Fucks you
nice.
up, dude. It fucks you up. It's really good.
Yeah.
Get solid beer for sure.
Just can't have one. You gotta have a couple.
Right?
All right, man. Well, it was good talking to you. I'm definitely gonna have to go. Time
No, for
to,
sure, man.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, I'll definitely hit you up again for another one that might be a little bit longer for some Final Fantasy once I beat it. That is.
No, for sure, man. I mean, yeah, dude, and I'll have you come on my show too. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, it was definitely a good experience. I think you're my first time that I'm a guest for someone, so it was definitely fun.
Yeah, much more relaxing when you're not in control of your own show, right? It's kind of like all I
Honestly,
have to
yeah,
be here. All
it's
I have to
true.
do is be myself.
It's pretty true. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, you're not
Yeah,
wrong. It's definitely much chiller because, that's what we're doing.
yeah, definitely, man.
So,
All right. Talk to you later.
all right.